So it seems that the setup to the 2020 U.S. presidential election is going to take much of the form of the previous one, where Donald Trump avoids talking about the issues by giving insults and I want to say populist rhetoric, but somehow I feel that's just not the case. The Democrats, on the other hand, are busy torpedoing Bernie Sanders to prop up a hand picked elite representative. Now, of course, you've seen that this organization, Democrats Against Anti-Semitism, just appeared overnight and went directly after Bernie Sanders, and pretty much only Bernie Sanders, because he doesn't support a lot of the genocide that Israel's carrying out, even though Bernie Sanders is still kind of too spineless to actually call it what it is. But you notice the deliberate attempt to undermine him the same way that they did to Jeremy Corbyn. Just accuse them of anti-Semitism. And you know what? To a large degree, it worked. It did create a significant step towards burying Jeremy Corbyn. And the same thing could very well happen to Bernie Sanders. Now, it's strange that now all of a sudden Elizabeth Warren comes out and says, Bernie Sanders told me that he said a woman can't win presidency. And then these, four other mysteriously unnamed people said the same thing. Even though Bernie Sanders has previously been on record saying that a woman can win, he was shown with a group of little girls telling them that they should run for president and could win, and has been very supportive of women's rights within a bourgeois context. So it would seem that the exact opposite is true. Now, of course, Elizabeth Warren has already been told she's not going to win the nomination, and now she's being used to torpedo Bernie Sanders, just as this mysterious anti-Semitism group appeared overnight to try to torpedo Bernie Sanders. So I think a very clear message is being sent here, despite the fact that, yes, Bernie Sanders does have the highest rating. He is the one most likely to defeat Donald Trump in 2020. They're still going to make sure he doesn't win. Now, it should not be surprising at all that this is a real thing. It's bourgeois politics, or in another way, bourgeois parliamentarianism. The bourgeoisie have all the power and they make all the real decisions. That should not be surprising in any way, shape, or form. But what's really interesting about this is how very open they're being about it. I mean, this is really transparent. I mean, this is almost not even trying to hide it behind the scenes kind of manipulation. They're very overtly giving this to Joe Biden. Now, if you've also been paying attention, then you know that emails have been leaked for Burisma Holdings, the Ukrainian company where the Democratic frontrunner Joe Biden's son Hunter served as director. Well, they've been hacked, and their emails have been released. So, of course, now that there's much more proof, I should say now solid proof, of what has been going on with Joe Biden's son in Ukraine, all of a sudden, the big talking heads are saying, oh, it's a Russian plot. See, the Russian bots are coming in and doing this. Oh, and then Hillary Clinton goes, oh, this is just like the 2016 playbook to interfere with the elections and get Putin's chosen candidate. God, they're not even trying anymore. So there's nothing to fear. Hunter didn't do anything wrong. But if you do see any of the emails, know that this is a Russian psyop. Very, very strange. I know this kind of manipulation is how bourgeois politics is done. I don't think there's any question of that. But what sticks out in my mind is how very overt all of this is. It's like they're not even trying to cover this up anymore. It's so out there, in your face, obvious, and blatant that you would have to be willingly blind at this point not to see it. Let's face it, Joe Biden is not going to beat Trump in 2020. He's not going to win. And the only one who has a significant chance is Bernie Sanders. Yet the Democratic Party is still willing to torpedo him in favor of somebody else. Because at the end of the day, despite the fact that this is bourgeois democracy, somebody can come up, can have the ideas, and even be popular enough to undermine the bourgeoisie enough that they're going to worry. Because remember, the same bourgeois capitalist elite that fund the Democratic Party have almost the same interests as the ones who fund the Republican Party. And they're probably the one unifying issue is they don't want to pay any taxes. And that's one thing Bernie Sanders has promised. They both still want imperialism to continue so they can keep plundering the world to keep up their rate of profits, which has a tendency to fall. And that's the one thing that they can unify on. Any idea that Hillary Clinton is the candidate of peace is laughable. Any idea that Biden is the candidate of peace is complete nonsense. I might even be willing to believe it out of Bernie Sanders. But it's not the president who makes the wars and drives the country towards wars. It's the system itself. You change the driver of a car is still a car. And I think that's what people aren't understanding here. But I think that there's an important lesson that because a lot of Americans still don't get that there is no choice, that the system is rigged by the bourgeoisie. This should really serve as enough to let them know that, to realize this once and for all. But the question is, are they going to learn their lesson? Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.